Hello from the Richland Hills Public Library. I'm Miranda, the youth librarian, and today, this week, I'm going to be bringing you science experiments that have to do a little bit with tall tales. It's kind of hard to find a way to tie in tall tales with science, but I think I found a couple of ways, so we're going to do them, and hopefully y'all will learn something new. All right, so for this experiment, you're going to need something. How should I put this? I'm using books, but you could use boxes that you can stack up. You can use anything basically that will stack up so that you've got a tall tower of something. Doesn't matter how tall. I mean, within reason it does, obviously. But you're going to want at least a little bit of height like what I have here. I think this is probably about 9 inches maybe. Then you're going to need some cups. Again, they don't have to be paper. They can be plastic. They definitely need to be something sturdy. So don't do glass. That would be bad. Then you're going to need something long. I'm using dowel rods because this is what I have available. You could also use yardsticks. Or you could even, like with sturdy cardboard or cardstock, you can even build your own tracks, which is what these are going to be used for. We're going to make tracks out of them. Then you're going to need some tape. I'm going to use duct tape because it makes everything easier. Then some scissors for the duct tape because it makes it easier. All right, so let's get our tracks set up. So we're going to take our books and kind of push them to the edge of the table here. And then I've got my sketchbook on top because you are going to need to tape down your tracks, and I don't want to put tape on my books. So the tracks are going to go there with some tape. Then you're going to take your cups. I have 4. And you're going to tape them down, or tape them to each other 2 different ways. Maybe I won't use the scissors. We'll see. Uh-oh. It's really old duct tape. All right. So just enough so that it'll circle all the way around the cups. And then you want 2 cups attached bottom to bottom, just like this. I'm going to put my tape on there. Okay, your tape definitely does not have to be perfect. See, watch me make a mess. So just like this, should be fine. So there's our first set. And then our second set is going to go the exact opposite way. So we're going to get a little bit more tape for that since the top of our cup is a little bit wider than the bottom of our cup. All right, so these 2 cups are going to get taped together like this. And try to get it as even on there as you can, because when you start to wrap around, you want to make sure that your cups don't come apart from each other. All right. Okay, so both of our cup apparatuses are set up, so we're going to set them aside for now. Oh, just got a splinter from something. I don't know what. It's weird. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get our tape before we start taping the dowel rods down. So we're going to do 4 pieces of tape. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you've got some sticky to tape down with, you should be good. And these are probably about 6 inches a piece, but it really depends on what you're using for your track, how much tape you're going to need. So it's kind of a guessing game, but that's okay. It's all about learning. Okay. So, first dowel rod. just gonna tape it right down. And you'll notice my dowel rods aren't even the same diameter. One is definitely bigger than the other. But we do want them as even along here as we can get and as parallel to each other. So like you don't want them sticking in like this and you don't want them going out like that. You want them as parallel as possible. And you want to make sure that your cup is going to be able to go over the edges. So that looks pretty decent right there. Okay, and then down at the other end, we're going to tape them down here too. Okay, so now comes the experiment part. So we have two different kinds of cups here, and you can do some guessing in advance about which cups you think are going to stay on the track. Do you think they'll both stay on the track? Do you think neither one of them will stay on the track? Do you think one will and the other one won't, or vice versa? So go ahead and make your guesses, and then we're going to set it up. Well, we have it set up. And let's see. So first, let's go with our cups where we taped the bottoms together. And I'm going to try to center it up as much as I possibly can, and then I'm going to let it go. And it fell off. It did not stay on the track for the entire time, even though I tried to get it as centered as I possibly could. So let's see if I off-center it, if it'll do anything different. Oh, it fell off even faster that time. So you can test this one as many times as you want. We're just going to do the two. But let's try this one now. So this is the one where we have the two tops taped together. And again, I'm going to center it as much as I possibly can. Look at that! It stayed on the track for the entire time. Now, let's try off-centering it and see what it does. So I'm going to put it right here. Oh, did you see that? When it got too close to one edge, it immediately veered back and stayed on the track the entire time. So, what I want to show you next, let's see, what did I do with my piece of paper? So this is all about train wheels on train tracks. So if you'll see this picture, and please ignore the bad print job, I apologize. If you'll see this paper, if you take a look at these train wheels, they're not completely flat like car wheels would be, or wagon wheels. They actually have a slant to them. And that slant is necessary for keeping the wheels on the track. It even works when you're doing turns, which is how a train stays on a track when it's turning. So we didn't make turns with our ramp here. We didn't make turns with our ramp here. But you could very easily, you could set up another book or another something here, put tape down, and then add cardboard to it to create another turn. There are all kinds of different cool experiments that you could do with your own tracks. You could have the tracks going for much longer. You could set them up on the floor instead of on a table. There are lots of different options that you can do for your train track experiment. You can even do, if you'll notice, like on these wheels here, there's an axle in between our two wheels. So you could take your two cups, let's see, let me untape these, maybe. All right, so you can take your two cups and you can add an axle in between them and see if that makes any difference for how they go down the track. You can do them this way and add an axle and see if that makes any difference, if it's better or worse than these cups here. But there are lots of different ways you can do this experiment. It's really easy to set up, and it's a lot of fun to play with the what-ifs that are involved with doing this experiment. So there you have it. I've taught you a little bit about some train wheel science today. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I hope to see you again soon.